a lawyer, but I just got home from day one of jury selection for Durk's federal trial. And somebody commented on one of my videos and said that I'm lying about attending the trial. So here's a picture of me from today at the courthouse. Okay. Anyway, day one was pretty quick. There were 80 jurors summoned to the courthouse for this case, and they all went to the 10th floor of the courthouse with the attorneys and the defendants. And so the public and the media were put in a courtroom on the first floor, separate from them. And that courtroom was audio only, so we couldn't see what was happening, but we could hear. Now, I will note that I arrived a little late, so some reporters may have went to the 10th floor before coming down to the first, and so they may have seen some of the jurors and they may be able to report on the makeup of the potential jurors, but I didn't see the jurors, so I can't tell you what they look like. Okay, so back to the day. The judge went over the allegations of the case. He went over the charges, and then he mistakenly said that all of the defendants have pled guilty to these charges. Huh? Now, it was a mistake, and he quickly corrected himself and said that they have all pled not guilty to the charges. But us in the overflow room definitely looked around at each other. The judge also told the jurors that the case involves a successful and well-known rap artist. And so if they or someone they live with, for example, is a music executive or someone from law enforcement or have some kind of connection to the hip hop industry, those are things the questionnaire would be asking and things that the attorneys may want to know. It doesn't mean that those people will automatically be disqualified, but it is something that the attorneys may want to question you further about. The judge also told jurors that this is, quote, not really a gang case. And then he later told them, these are not gang crimes. He said there will be a small amount of gang evidence and it will play a small role in the case, but there are some questions on the questionnaire that are dealing with gangs, but the jurors should not draw any kind of conclusions about those questions. Okay, so that was pretty much it. The jurors were sent to the jury room where they answered the questionnaire and then they were dismissed for the day. The judge and the attorneys will now review those questionnaires overnight, and then all 80 jurors will return tomorrow, where they will be asked some follow-up questions by the attorneys based off of the answers they gave on the questionnaire. Now,
Welcome on in another episode, Gossip Galore. Now, leave your thoughts down below as far as in the comments, right? Y'all think he's gonna walk off of this one? Put a one in the chat if you believe he's gonna walk. Put a two in the chat if you believe that there's no walking allowed. Also, as far as this streak antic goes, whatever that means, right? The code that's been broken so many different times, right? I don't believe in it. I don't think you should believe in it either. It's foolery, if you asked me. But anyway, as far as the snitching situation, he basically told on a dead person. We all know that a dead person can't speak. Is that considered snitching, or is that him maneuvering himself out of the situation because he know a dead person can't talk? I just want to hear y'all thoughts on it. I just want to hear your thoughts. Leave them right down below in the comment section. Let's go.
the goal for this case is to get to 16 jurors total. 12 will be deliberating and 4 alternates. And so once the attorneys get to that number, we will officially have a jury. Opening statements are still expected to begin tomorrow afternoon, where the government will have 1 hour for their opening, and then the defense will have 1 hour for theirs. Now, because there are 3 defendants in this case, Asa Houston is having a separate trial, if you didn't know that. And I think it's because he got a new attorney very late in the game, and so the attorney couldn't be ready for this trial yet. So Durk's team will get 20 minutes. And just to make sure you're following, his attorneys are Drew Finling, Marissa Goldberg, Christy O'Connor, and Brian Steele. And then Wilson's attorney will get 20 minutes.
Basically, Dirk got the all-star team. And Brian Steele is not about to take this if Dirk isn't going to walk. I'm just saying, he might have a hell of a probation situation. But I'm just letting you know. When you call Brian Steele, that's like calling Superman if you're talking about the court system. He has some type of favors or pull or connections or whatever he has, he obviously has. But let's continue.
And he's being represented by Craig Harbaugh. And then David Bryan Lindsay's team will get 20 minutes, and he's represented by attorney Tillett Mills. Now, it did sound like Mills doesn't think he will need the full 20 minutes, and so if he takes less than that, then some of the other attorneys can take some of that up. And because you're probably wondering, based off what I just said, the judge is only giving all three of the attorneys 1 hour total. So that's why it's being split up with 20 minutes each. And Craig Harbaugh asked the judge about this, and the judge basically said, since the government has 1 hour to address all three defendants only have 1 hour altogether to present their defense opening. Last thing, because I do sometimes get these kind of questions, there were a lot of people there, definitely more than the hearings have been. There were no protesters or anything outside, but there were some fans, and one of them was even passing out this kind of postcard. Hopefully you can see it. It says Free Durk. It's a picture of him. Hopefully you can see that. So people were definitely there. I think that's it. Day 2 tomorrow, and hopefully the day gets to opening statements. So I'll be back then. I'm not a lawyer.
Thank you for her update. She does a wonderful job at what she do, and she's not a lawyer, but she damn sure keep you in tune. Let's continue.
All right, folks. So I'm here at the federal courthouse for day 1 officially of Lil Durk's murder for hire trial, and I'm not going to lie, things got off to an absolutely insane start. It was actually a wild start. No disrespect to the judge, but the judge made just a little bit of an accident. Look, we're only human, but the judge accidentally said something that nearly completely ended the whole proceedings. Like, it was actually crazy. So the judge was kind of introducing everything, reintroducing the charges. The prosecutors had their opportunity to reintroduce to this potential jury what the charges are, what they're going to be facing, everything that's going on with that. And what was really, really crazy is that, during the judge kind of explaining what was going on, he made just a slip of the tongue. It was completely accidental. It wasn't like anything where I don't think it was intentional. I don't think it was going to create any bias, but it was a pretty wild moment. And they basically sort of reread the charges, and then they said, all of the defendants, they pled guilty to these charges. And then it was like straight gasps in the courtroom. People were like, what? There were people that were already in the courtroom. They were handing out leaflets, Free Durk booklets and leaflets, postcards. I got
a Lil Durk expert.
That's Freeze.
Ish. Oh, I mean, it is Freeze. It is. Freeze, what's going on, man?
The trial started.
Free him?
Free him? The trial started.
Free him into his backwards?
Yeah, he has an uphill battle, it looks like. They got quite a few members of his camp that are working against him.
Uh-oh. Now, I thought that last week when we came in here and said, hey, they have 35 witnesses, a lot of people on the internet was like, you got 35 witnesses. It don't take that long to draw the picture or paint the story that you're trying to tell. That might be good news for Durk. I was like, or there's 35 niggas that's telling some shit that they want to hear. Mm-hmm. So they could be really trying to drive the point home to keep you where you are. I didn't take that as good news. Then you hear, listen, I don't know none of these niggas' names. OTF Jam.
Yeah.
OTF Jam was in the jail and they had the bunkie in there that's a federal informant. So OTF Jam told the bunkie, who's a federal informant, that Durk paid him to get back for D-Thing. And it's like,
she getting crazy.
See, but the thing a lot of people don't understand is how the court system actually works, right? People could say that you did this, and you probably did. 9 times out of 10, you probably did, allegedly, hypothetically, supposedly. But can you prove that he did it? And can you do it beyond a reasonable doubt? This is why lawyers are so important. Because if I could put doubt in what you just try to prove, then you're not standing on solid ground. So I think the lawyers, what they're going to do is put doubt. Oh, they're going to spread it. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Oh, they're going to spread it. To let you know some witnesses aren't credible. They could be making things up just for them to have lesser sentencing time. Can you prove exactly what your client just said? And we need evidence. We don't need any hearsay, she say, he say, we all say, what we think, what we know. Even if you've seen him do it, can you prove that he did it? And the way I see it is, I don't really think they can prove anything. That's just my opinion. Right? But leave your thoughts down below. And the reason why I say this is the only person that can prove something is Vonnie. But guess what? The dead can't prove nothing in this physical realm. So you could say Durk did his homework, tied up his loose ends, allegedly, hypothetically, supposedly, and only he will know the truth. So it may be something that he's going to be going to the grave with. You know? That's just how I look at it. That's just my opinion on it. The man got Brian Steele as a lawyer and Drew Flinton. I don't think y'all know what's going on. See, to me, that's what the money do. The money don't care if you're right or wrong. What are you trying to prove? Are you trying to prove being right or are you trying to prove being wrong? Which one? Let us know so we can prove it for you. And to me, that's what the money do. That's just to me, though.
It's getting crazy.
Did you see that thing that went viral? I don't know if this guy is testifying on him or not, but him and Durk are in a video together, but they got footage of him from the cop car to the side of the station crying, saying, I give you a homicide, I tell you a homicide.
Yeah. So that person, the person you're talking about, the reason why that footage is out is because in the, I guess the indictment, where it lists like, you know, they'll when it's like a confidential witness, whatever, they'll use initials and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it said this person appeared in a video with Vaughn, Durk, and they were at, I believe it was Icebox or something. Mm-hmm. So, you know, niggas went and found what video they talking about. It's him. So it identified the person. Mm-hmm. And then they found the other clip of him saying, I'll give you a homicide. So
I'm
it's
talking
like,
about the cop opened the door.
Yeah,
and
I
in the
know.
back seat with the cuffs behind, like on.
Crying.
And he is like falling apart. Nigga ain't even get in the building.
Mm-hmm.
And in the street while he's getting walked, he's like, I'll tell him a homicide. I'll tell you anything.
I'll tell you a homicide.
Yeah. And who's the other dude again? I don't know anybody's names. No disrespect. I'm just not familiar with all of these names. Who's the other dude that they was like, they got testimony of him saying that Durk pulled him in the bathroom like, yo, you got to chill out, yo. That's you committed too many murders.
That's him. That's what they're talking about.
And that's when I knew that I was retired for good. Like I pulled my niggas to the side and be like, yo, slow down with all this candy. Yo, man, you need to slow down. You driving so fast. You need to slow down.
You killing too many people?
You
You're
too many
murders
on us. Is what allegedly was said. Slow down, you're gonna get the feds on us. And they're using.
If that's true, that means he knew about a couple murders and let him slide. He didn't think his man was out of line.
Yeah, after two, it's a limit, the threshold. All right, six murders.
Past 4.
Yo, come on, dog. What you doing, yo?
11 though.
We was good with 5. But yeah, and they're using everything, podcast appearances, music videos, text messages, lyrics.
Wait, slow down. They're using evidence. Wait a minute.
Well,
they turned their back. What's up? It's your boy Denad. I'm here at the federal court building in downtown LA for day 3 of Lil Durk trial. Today we're gonna hear opening arguments from both the defense and the state. Real quick, there's some misinformation going on online. I think DJ Academic spewed it, saying that Lil Durk had OTF Jam's baby mother pop. Listen, OTF Jam's baby mother was pop because she was a UPS worker and she had a master key to a lot of boxes and niggas like to hit them boxes. Also, it might not turn out to be what you think when it comes to OTF Jam. People are speculating that he is going to witness and testify that Lil Durk gave him 50 bands to unalive someone. How is that possible? OTF Jam wasn't even in California when this incident occurred. And don't a lot of rappers give their homies dough when they get out of jail to get on their feet? You're gonna incriminate people because of that? Like the videos.
Okay, so
I'm not a lawyer, but I went to the Durk hearing today and I did a lot. So I'm not gonna have time to edit a proper video.
Just got out of the Durk trial. Opening statements will not be happening today. They were planned to have opening statements go on today. Instead, opening statements will be Monday. Today, what we did have was a jury was seated, the voir dire process, defense attorneys, the government asking the jurors questions. You probably saw the report, the one juror who said, oh, just by looking at them, I can tell that they would be guilty. What was really unfortunate is when the juror said that, the judge was like, yes, a lot of Americans feel that way. I was like, wait, judge, what the hell? He basically co-signed. Further to the whole issue of young people on juries, there was a college student. He's like, yo, my classes are starting. That's going to be a reason not to be somebody put on a jury. You're going to never have young people on jury. Finling, who, he does a great job. I mean, I learned something as a lawyer from watching him today. What he does when he's questioning the jurors is he uses an opportunity to kind of set up his whole case. And it's ABC, always be closing. So Drew's not really just asking questions to expose your bias, but he's also asking questions to set you up for the way he wants you to see this case. He's going to have a couple themes in this case. Now, look, Lil Durk is a world-renowned artist with all these fancy cars and nice houses, and the whole world knows him as the voice. And I think where Drew is going with that is he's so wildly successful, he wouldn't be involved in any of this stuff. And through, Drew's going to weave those themes into his jury questioning. Part of that theme will be showing Durk to be separate and in his own little world. I think it's going to be important for the defense to be careful that they don't undercut themselves by defending the case as kind of a united team, which kind of happens at some points where the defense attorneys defer to Drew Finling like he's going to carry all the water, whereas they kind of need to keep things separate. Once they picked all the jurors, the judge gave the standard instructions, swearing them in, walking them through the... As I was listening to it, one point that did come out that I should clarify, there's two different conspiracy to commit stalking charges. There's one to stalk Quando Rondo. There's another to stalk the person who actually got killed. And that's very important because the stalking charge of the person who actually got killed carries a way higher penalty than the stalking charge against Quando Rondo. So you could have a situation where there's one charge that Durk gets, stalking Quando or conspiracy to stalk Quando, and it wouldn't necessarily be the end of the world in terms of an absolutely crushing criminal sentence. It ended with the judge giving the jurors their standard instruction about, looking only at the evidence. I love when I hear the judges say this because he's like, I need you to disregard your beliefs, what you like, what you don't like, somebody's age, somebody's race, somebody's religion, your prior experiences, essentially everything that people look at the lens of the world through. He's like, forget all of that and be an impartial juror. Opening statements will begin Monday morning, 9 a.m. Stay tuned.
So I'm not a lawyer, but day one of Durk's trial, I don't know, y'all, what y'all thinking. So according to academics and the, court documents, Durk's argument is that he was not the mastermind of all of, what he's being accused of, that Vonnie was the mastermind. And Vonnie is King Von's cousin or, close family friend. And people are trying to say that's snitching. While I do believe that's snitching, because he's not creating reasonable doubt, he's named Vonnie. Like that is snitching. You named Vonnie. But maybe, he got Brian Steele lawyer. Like maybe we gotta, let it process, let it marinate, because we don't know what type of plea Vonnie has. Vonnie could have a plea for immunity, and he could go up there on some Woody stuff, like Young Thug's trial, and Vonnie might go up there and take, blame and accountability and say he had access to everything and all the money and everything because he has immunity, just like they did on Young Thug's trial. While I don't really know if that might be possible on a federal case, maybe that's the plan. That's what they're shooting for, because I just don't see Durk being a snitch. And it is snitching, but maybe they got something cooked up. I don't know. What do y'all think? Because Brian Steele is a good lawyer, and I just feel like there's really no point of snitching because everybody's snitching on you. There was wires going around you. Jam worked on 30 cases with the police. You're the main one they want. They don't want anybody else. They will give everybody immunity to get you. You're the big dog. There's really no point of snitching because you're still going down.